Our world is full of weird theories that, until proven right in some way, sound absolutely insane. Theories like every famous and powerful person such as Donald Trump being reptilians who control the world and all of our thoughts. Then there are crazy random ones like Barack Obama actually being able to control the weather. Yeah. But where do these theories come from though? There has to be some reality in how they got started, right? Well, today we're going to be looking at 5 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Your tinfoil hats won't look so crazy after you watch this video. This first conspiracy theory is a crazy one because it involved the American government killing its own citizens and blaming it on Cuba. The reason that they wanted to do this was because Cuba was considered a serious threat to America during the Cold War, since it was only 90 miles off the coast of Florida and under the rule of Fidel Castro, who was unpredictable. The US attempted to oust Castro during the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, but ultimately failed, and that's the reason the generals came up with this plan. So it was called Operation Northwood, and it involved things such as developing a communist Cuba terror campaign in Miami and Washington, sinking a boatload of Cubans on their way to Florida, and exploding some plastic bombs in carefully chosen spots, inevitably killing innocent citizens. After all this were to happen, the plan was to blame everything on Cuba and claim that they have an irresponsible government so that the public could be okay with the continuing war efforts against them. Luckily, when this plan was presented to President Kennedy and his defense secretary, it was rejected and kept a secret. This remained a conspiracy theory popping up on the internet many times, but was never acknowledged until the actual documents came out that revealed the plan was true. This next one is absolutely terrifying, because during the Cold War, it was revealed that the CIA conducted mind control experiments on American and Canadian citizens. The experiments included exposure to things like LSD, hypnosis, verbal abuse, and physical abuse. The reason for them doing these experiments was so that they could develop drugs and procedures intended to be used in torture to get information out of their enemies. MKultra officially began in the 1950s and was sanctioned in 1953. This operation constantly used unwilling test subjects, sometimes even kidnapping people and forcing them to be involved with experiments, exposing them to horrible things. The CIA set up shop for MKultra in as many as 80 institutions, including schools, hospitals, and prisons. They didn't care if they were experimenting on a young college student or a prisoner, as long as they had test subjects. What's worse is that many people volunteered to be in these studies because they were offered money, not being fully informed who they were dealing with or what they were doing. Sadly, 2 Americans were even killed when being involved in these studies, and many others were scarred for life. MKultra was uncovered by the Church Committee in 1973, but knowing he would be punished, the CIA director Richard Helms destroyed most of the evidence, and because of that, a lot of what happened during MKultra remains a mystery still to this day. At one point, America was truly terrified of the idea of communism. It was an ideal that the American government didn't want spreading because they were happy with good old capitalism. The part that most people are aware of was the arms race that America had with the Soviet Union, but some serious conspiracy theorists speculated that the Soviet Union also had sleeper agents ready to go on American soil if a full-blown war did ever break out. These sleeper agents could have been anyone from your teacher to that creepy guy that sits outside your house. But the reality of this conspiracy theory was a bit different. The KGB did have extensive plans to infiltrate American soil if a war did occur. It wasn't as far-fetched as people being brainwashed into believing communism. In reality, the KGB had agents stationed in Canada and Mexico with easy access to America in the case they needed to destroy them from the inside. They had very well thought out plans such as blowing up electrical infrastructure on the Delaware River, potentially making the whole state of New York lose power. These KGB agents, if deployed, were planned to dress up as people we trust, such as firefighters and police officers, basically making them indistinguishable. The conspiracy theory of KGB sleeper agents living in America wasn't so far off from what the reality of what the actual situation was. Canada today is a very multicultural country run by accepting Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, but it wasn't always like that. In the 1960s, during the Cold War, Canada hired Carleton University professor Frank Robert Wake to invent something they called the fruit machine, which essentially was supposed to be a gay radar. The Canadian government, and especially Robert Wake, believed that the Gaydar could detect gay men, and they weren't going to use it to understand human sexuality, but rather remove all gay men from positions of power such as the government, the RCMP, and the military. High-ranking officials thought that gay people were weak and easy targets for the Soviet Union during the Cold War and potentially therefore give up country secrets. Why does everything always have to come back to communism? The way the government claimed it worked was the man was shown gay pornography and the machine would measure the diameter of the pupils to see if they would dilate, if the person had a lot of perspiration, and if there was any change in the heart rate. This all would tell him if the subject had an erotic response. Because of the Gaydar, nearly 9,000 people lost their jobs, and it's safe to assume that not all of them were homosexuals because this machine had no way of actually working and had many faults with it. Sadly, that's the world people lived in back then, where a Gaydar was acceptable. We've come a long way since then. To tell you the truth, this is number one because honestly, it's the weirdest. There are millions of theories on the internet that say there exists a secret society, most of the time called the Illuminati, that consists of only the most powerful people and that they control the world. So this conspiracy that turned out to be true kind of proves that. I don't really know how to explain this one, so here goes. There's this thing called the Bohemian Grove Gatherings, which has included very powerful people like past US presidents that meet to discuss some pretty strange things. It was founded in 1872 and since then has grown immensely to include the most rich and powerful people on our planet. The things discussed at these gatherings range from small matters to discussions about the Manhattan Project, which if you didn't know, is the creation of the nuclear bomb. People who have managed to sneak in and catch a glimpse of what goes on say it's pretty nasty because apparently these guys piss wherever they want and just basically go crazy. If that were it to this conspiracy theory, then it wouldn't really be that weird, but I'm not about to troll you guys, and this part just gets unexplainable. So according to confessions and pictures, these powerful men meet not only to discuss things such as business, but also worship a giant wooden owl. I have no idea what to make of that. Oh, and also the owl talks. What the fuck? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the top 5, please share it with your friends and family, like this video, and subscribe. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway of either a $25 iOS or Play Store gift card, and announcing the winner on Friday, so if you're interested, click the card and go to my last video for more details. Also, please comment which one of these theories is the most weird. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.